1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Forward, my friends! See through the
Oops. Alright. Yeah, it looks like it's synced. I'm sorry I wasn't watching. I was getting that set up. So I need to make 2 more corrections before I actually
Ready
start.
for battle.
One of those windowed. So I can actually rotate out. And I'm gonna put my headset on. Alright, so I'll go ahead and watch your video here. So you're saying it's like silver gameplay? Cool. If you see me go pause or go muted, it's probably because I got like a work call or something. That'll happen from time to time. So if you hear like a ringing and then me going quiet, that's 100% the reason. So
stay near, will you? I hate when people run off without me.
You can't hide.
Apologies, no.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Forward, my friends!
okay.
See through the
There. I'll just say you should have killed that Symmetra. Yeah, her sentries will slow you down, but you kind of like saw her put them out, so you should just like walk away from them. You can just walk straight at her. With Symmetra, another thing you may not know is that she gets more ammo back if she hits your shield. So if an enemy Symmetra is in range of your Reinhardt, your options are either to like burn her down by like actually killing her, like you have to full commit, or you have to full commit to like recreating that space between you, which is usually almost never worth it. I know it was a little bit scary, but you just have to keep swinging. Yeah, or get those fire strikes on her, because putting your shield up won't allow you to really escape her, and she regains her ammo and builds her charge, so she becomes even stronger. And with Symmetra, like the longer she hits you, the more damage she does. So you just have to commit. But anyway, your teammates didn't help you there, unfortunate, but that's what it is.
Anyone in?
Yeah, you want to put this in. Go charge him. Go pin into this dude. I don't know why you're stopping. Why are we sitting here on point? Actually, in my last video, I kind of re-explained this. Like, your role as a tank, especially on like a King of the Hill style map, is not to... What are you guys doing? Having a party? The only person who's even thinking about like the future is this guy who's like fighting, or he's already like engaging the enemy, and you guys are having like, what is happening? Anyway, so yeah, you should be here. Like, you should be at this corner, up against this Ramatra. Now, Ramatra can be annoying to deal with as a Reinhardt, but he's not like impossible. Basically, you want to bait out Nemesis for him in a way that he will put himself out of position when he Nemesises. So that, like, if you're going into him, you won't be able to escape by just holding your shield up and walking away, because he'll just go Nemesis form and just start pummeling you through your shield. But, yeah, you should already be up here, but that's okay, whatever. This lack of commitment here, I think, is like poor. Yeah, well, I mean, now it's okay to not go in. Like, once that wall was up, yeah, now it's okay to be here. But, that's just because she preempted to use that wall for some reason. I think it was to stop the dive, but it's not even, that is not even that here. Yeah, this is good, yeah. Okay, a little overkill, but... Okay. Okay, so let's just think an object pertinence kind of thing, like knowing what's going on around you, even if you can't like see them. Like you were shot by an enemy Zenyatta, right? Like he's up here shooting down at you. Like you want to be able to look around and like identify these kinds of problems, right? So this was during the fight. He's still hitting you, and then rather than go up there and like do anything, yeah, your Life Weaver's gone up here to fight him, but you are just sitting on point. I would say, as a general rule, that you as Reinhardt should usually try to always have an inkling where the enemy is, or you should be like actively controlling space. Sitting on point is not really productive and isn't really gaining you anything. Like it's different if like you were trying to like push a point, but here it's like they were just here and you can like exploit them for damage. That's the other thing, is I don't think you're like necessarily capitalizing on the space you control. Like Ramacho wants this kind of long range fight. Like he wants you to just sit here and only fire strike every now and then while he sits here and does damage, you know, to get around. Like you're getting good fire strikes in, like you're fire striking this corner effectively. So I do like that. Like you're helping control this, like pressure this area. Yeah. But see now, yeah. But see, this is the exact thing I'm talking about. Thankfully, your Life Weaver is able to save you. But Ramacho, once you went in there to fight him, that's when he pops his nemesis.
That was a close one.
I think sitting here on point is just not
Optimus all.
productive. Like, tank perspective wise, it seems like it's okay right now because you guys are winning, but that's also because, like, that's just not their map. Right. I mean, I'm guessing that's what happens here, but
Nothing
you should be more actively thinking about like what you can do to make the enemy's life harder.
A better world is possible today.
Best of us.
Sitting on point, waiting for the enemy to come to you is not productive. You should be productive by going to the enemy and making it harder for them to enter the areas before the control point space. You should be controlling that space before point so that they have to like fight into those and spend resources. Then when you're not really committed, you can just walk away. Or you can like soft commit, and then the enemy has no choice but to use resources to get into those areas, and then they don't have those resources for the next fight.
You're safe.
Okay, you don't know the range of Vincent's gun, and you just jump straight into the Reinhardt Torbjorn combo? Yeah. You kind of deserve that one.
The objective is now.
Yeah. What Winston's looking for in those situations is A, well, first you already lost the DPS, so you were kind of already going to jump in with a disadvantage, but B, you need to jump in a way. Okay, you went right back to Reinhardt, so I won't go too deep into your Winston play there, but Winston's looking for easy targets to jump onto, not hard targets to jump onto.
You can't hide.
Punish this, yeah. I would have punished it. That's okay. Okay, so some of the things I saw from there with your Rhyme v Rhyme matchup, you have to remember if you're gonna like play this like spot here, is that there's always the danger that they're gonna go around you and like cut off your back line, which is kind of what happened. Like, sure, you got blocked by the tree there, but you were spending so much resources trying to exist in this space here. Like, they were burning. Like, both supports were like fully committed. You know, you're kind of already had lost one DPS, so that means like only one DPS was here to like try to keep out the bad guys that like you weren't dealing with, and they were able to just focus their pressure. Like Torb is really good with backing up his Reinhardt, and along with like the other supports to just like sit there and just pummel on you. Wow, like it make you just spend all your resources. He had to blow his ult to try to keep you alive. Even though you guys were entering that fight with a disadvantage. And that's what I was going to get to, is so far I've noticed on both of these points. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. But on both of these points, your team is, you are now beginning to commit when you've already lost a player. So you've just lost a life leader here. Basically, you're going to have a disadvantage on this fight. Now, you could fix that by making a play, which is probably what you're going to have to do, but there's not really necessary. Like, yeah, it sucks, but going in here is not going to be much better. Nice block. Good read on that. Like, you have Shatter, so chances are he has Shatter. But unfortunately, this team fight is not going to go your way. I would recommend just fire striking turrets when you see them. Nice value. You can chat at this nerd. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm thinking it's team colors. I always see red, and I think it's the other way. Oh, but it's fine. You still get it. Yeah, I think it went up too soon to that corner. The supports weren't really there to support you. That involves just maybe looking behind you, just seeing what your rest of your team's like too. I noticed you only did it last time when the Symmetra was like fucking doing work, and you're like, where's my team to help me? So, okay, good turnaround. You have held on to this Shatter way too long. I'm just gonna say that as well. I see you're desperate to use it and produce value.
Teach existing a lesson.
Go get that Hanzo. I don't know where it's like.
Target's locked. Open fire.
I think when you're in a panic, or like maybe you're thinking about the situation, you're spending a lot of time at that point, just kind of like not sure what to do. A little bit of look like feeling lost in the sauce. Him, but you guys are in a dangerous situation. I like this. Reinhardt is actually trapped, yeah. Pin him. If the other Reinhardt cannot move, like if he literally can't escape, pin him. Just keep right next to him and just pin him. He cannot go anywhere, and you will just instantly melt him. Don't even give him a chance to build another ult. I mean, even if it's risky, let him shatter you. Fuck it. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, make him commit that resource. Getting a shatter out of him, if he's like in a desperate situation, it's fine.
No.
But yeah, I just pin him.
Why ever not?
Thanks.
Let's see if you can read it. So like you might know he has shatter. I mean, kind of guessing you do. You're looking at him pretty intensively. Yeah, so I would say the good opponent to attract here is the Reinhardt. Just keep meeting him wherever he goes. But this is not. Yeah. Now you're. Yeah, okay, good. You recognize that that's not good space for you. Okay, I see you jumped there before your shatter. That's a big no-no. Resist. Oh, I mean, probably didn't intend to pin him, but hey, that's what happens. Yeah, so you have a good understanding of like where is a good place to be and not a good place to be. I think it's okay to use more fire strikes to destroy those sentries. Like, because after you destroy sentry, it's got like a 12-second cooldown. So it's okay to just like burn through that if the Torp's not defending it. I'd say the major mistake there was that pin. Like, you pinned in pretty deep, didn't get really any value out of it, and then you were out of position. Jumping before shatter is a big no-no. You want to abandon that habit. You don't. By doing that, you add time to your shatter. It takes longer for it to connect to the ground when you jump. You will say the line while you're jumping in the air, and that means your enemy will have like even just another millisecond to react to it. And for some heroes, that's all they need. You want to control high ground, but you know, I'd say this way is almost never worth going, especially if you're gonna go this way. Why not just go through the left door? Why did you guys go out right door to go left? Just a high ground. What? Okay. Let's talk for a moment. We're gonna talk a little bit more about space, because so far sometimes I see you have like the right idea, and then other times I just see that you don't have the right idea. So when you come through this door, how far can we zoom out before the level clips it? Okay. We'll say this. So when you come out this door here, like you are coming out and you cannot see anything because of this huge barrier, right? You want to control this space here with your Reinhardt abilities. So that means either hiding behind here, maybe hiding here. Like, you don't have to hide though. Like, that's just if like a lot of people are aiming at you. Like, you know, a lot of damage is about to come in. But with heroes, like, you obviously didn't know they had a Reaper or Symmetra maybe just yet, but pretty much in general, you want to control this area so that way your offense and your supports can use this instead as cover. So think about it like this. Like, you were standing here like just a moment ago, your supports had nowhere to go. They had either to be down inside here, which means like if you went this way or over here, they'd have to like come out here, which exposes them to the people who either maybe use this to look over, or if they come in the opposite way of if you go this way and they come this way, that means now your supports are just out in the open. Whereas if you were over here fighting, or if you're like going this way and fighting, then your supports can use this to hide, and then they can, you know, go this way, or they can come up over this. Like, you have a Life Weaver, so he can use his platform here and he can like kind of see what's going on, or he can use this. Like, so basically you give them a better option of cover and like more sight lines. So if like they're using this as cover, they can see this way and prevent this like area from like an enemy just sneaking up on them. And if you're controlling this space here, that means now they don't have to worry about like things flooding past you, ideally, and that they, you know, like they can worry about doing damage in your direction, or like just making sure they're not getting flanked. So yeah, when you come out and you're just shielding out here, you're not doing anything, and I think that's very detrimental to your gameplay. But now that you've like committed to a target, you see that's what's happening. Like they see you going this way, and they're like, okay, well, now we can commit on the people who are coming out of the door here. Do you see how that's like by your lack of decision in like which way you're gonna go, has now caused your team to crumple. Now, the general idea that you should have is that you should just go to where the enemy is. Like, especially in King of the Hill maps, like chances are you want to ideally almost, I can't imagine on what control point map I'm thinking of, but you almost always want to meet in the middle. Like, that's where you want to be, because it's going to be the most even playing ground. Like, you know how I was saying that you want to hold this space here? It's because chances are that their tank's going to be in this space here. Like, if their team's coming this way and you're going this way, now you're going to know where each other are, and now you're going to be able to much better draw the imaginary line of the front line. Like, it's like, okay, it's going to be here. So like the other dangers of their team could either be coming this way, they could be coming this way, but chances are they haven't had enough time to go this way. So, you know, this way's safe. Now we can eliminate that out of our heads, and we can focus on where the enemy is going to be in that fight. Whereas like here, when you're over there, you had no idea which way the enemy is going to come from. It could come from either way because you're waiting for them to show up to you. And there are some times where you want to, like, once you get to this space, then you want to wait and see how like the fight kind of starts playing out. You know, like you can start soft committing on their tank to do damage, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Let's continue. There's not much left of this bot anyway. You were just, okay, you were just kind of just swinging your hammer. I'm going to say also that, just in case you don't know, Reinhardt is not really a hero that, like, knows, like, how to back up, like, necessarily. Okay, yeah, you want to back up if he's, like, using Nemesis form, and I think that fight was kind of lost, so it didn't really matter anyway, but it's okay. If a fight starts seeming lost, you can go ahead and just remove all the limiters. just go in and swing your hammer till you die. So you want to wait, ideally, for after this to be over. See, you want to push in after his nemesis form, not during. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you should be up there ready to surprise him with your shadow, but. Also, I see that you have a little bit of. Let me propose an idea to you. If you know they have a Symmetra, like you've become aware of its knowledge, chances are that any point you try to push through is going to end up with something like this above you. Now, Reinhardt could hit all of those. You could just swing your hammer once above you, and you could probably get, the 2, and then maybe that last one. If you're really good, you could hit all 3 with one swing. But you can't, especially on a map like this where Symmetra is strong because of this kind of setup. You have to, once you acknowledge that it's going to be that way, then it's okay to rotate and try to go through the door that she hasn't set up. These have a really long cooldown time. So if you already know the sentries are there, just make the progress of going the other way. See how you noticed how your cast player seems to know all the angles. If I had any suggestion to you is maybe kind of rewatch this and see how your cast reacts to the information that he's receiving, because he seems to have a much better understanding of which way he should be going, because this is good. Admittedly, he's going by himself because he probably has confidence that he is going to win this fight. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do into this fight, especially since it looks like you're dead. This fight was already lost, but it's easy for newer players to get stuck on the mindset that they need to always go the main avenues. We always have to go top now. Yeah. So all that's there. The enemy's looking for you. You're standing in there giving that Ramatra damage. I don't usually recommend that.
Group up with me.
Also, since we're playing Sim Reaper, they really don't need they prefer this close range fight. This is not optimal. Are you typing? I would not be typing. Shatter right now. Why are you waiting? Yeah. It's okay to use Shatter to initiate. Just start the fight. You don't have to kill anyone with it. You don't even have to be progressive. But if they're running they got Bat Moira, and they have both their support ults. So, but you're gonna have to start that, and May's ult is also getting against that too. Well, if you're thinking about Coalescence or blocking Coalescence, I suppose, but you weren't, and you aren't doing anything there. I don't know why you're holding your shield up like that.
Team kill.
Yeah.
I'm not through just yet.
Life protects life.
Okay, so let's see if we can't get a better analysis out of this fight. So this fight's coming up. If we're thinking about pure objective gaming, this was not the way to go after the first push. They had shown that they were capable of holding this position. They've shown that they had all the sentries in the world. You have 2 other ways to go. You could either have gone down, or you've gone to the right. Here. If you went this way, you would have less chance to control. You could have got your McCree, your Cassidy this high ground, and you would have been in a much better position than if you tried to go this way. This, however, they've already committed resources to holding this area, and they have very strong choke point holders, which is Ramatra, because he can just basically block you off from your team using his shield, and he can pummel you with Nemesis. Reaper just does close range big damage, blah blah blah.
Take everything from
them. So Ramatra's committed here. He can't actually block Shatter, or really block anything for that matter. You could have Shattered here to start this fight. Now, you're probably thinking oh, well, they'll just... BAP will probably just hit his lamp. and then like negate my damage. That's okay, because that means they'll start committing resources to this fight right away. Like you've already you have to commit to get them to start this fight, because they're waiting. You are on the attack, right? Because they have the point and they are defending. So the defenders are not going to spend resources until you do. So just spend the resources. You just have to do it. In this scenario, you guys have 4 ults to their 3 ults. Assuming you remembered that Ramatri used his Nemesis form, so on and so forth. Like, he used his Nemesis form, and we haven't seen Wall. Wall's not even that great against your team, since most, other than High Noon, like, it doesn't block anything. So, and I guess Shatter, but you would almost never use a Wall to block a Shatter unless you were insane. But we're not talking about insane players. So here, even if you're just going to Shatter 2, honestly, I'm pretty sure that you'd actually connect with those 2 supports at the top if you Shattered here. I think it's just, like, if you're, like, right past here, I think it's far enough to make that connection. But basically, yeah, you just, I think you held on to Shatter just a little bit too long in both rounds, like in the couple of rounds I've seen. Even if you just have to Shatter 1 dude, like, it's fine. You don't have to get the fat Shatter every time. But, like, if you would have Shattered these 2 nerds, they would have had to make a choice. Like, Reaper would have had to choose to Wraith form away or get Shattered, which some players at this rank might not even necessarily respond well to. But the other players, like, I don't think if they're in the range, if this is far enough, like I think it is, then they would also be hit. And he can't save them, and he can't lamp if he's Shattered. So you guys can now use that to, like, get them out of position, and you can throw May ult, which can start the freeze to, like, win this fight. Now, could that be disadvantaged to you because you guys use a bunch of ults just to take the space? But you kind of have to, right? You need to push out and control more of the map and, get control point back, because you guys are on the deficit here. This is a way that you should look at this, and this is the level of desperation you should have, almost, in some ways. Like, if you know the enemy is, like, on the verge of winning and, like, you've lost multiple fights, you're just gonna have to commit. You just can't wait for the perfect fight to show up anymore. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about after this, like, May eventually is just like, we can't wait anymore, we gotta go. Bap throws his lamp, May throws this, like, mediocre ult, and you're holding on to Shatter. So it's like, okay, you get that pick, and Reaper is like, okay, well, they're all coming into my space. I'm gonna ult, like, right on top of you guys. Yeah, so this is just unfortunate that it's gonna play out that way, and he's gonna get all that value because, I think just a little too much confidence. You wanted to bait out, Wraith form, with Shatter, or, like, challenge his positioning so that he had to, like, either retreat back to his team or, like, fully commit to do his, like, Death Blossom. But instead he was allowed to exist near you, especially, like, as you're all trying to push through this choke. So he just saw a good opportunity and took it. You could always pin him out of that, but yeah, your cast isn't going to break through here.
Team kill.
Yeah, so if there's any, well, couple things I would work on, I'd say, from this VOD, is that I don't think you have enough confidence on your line. It's okay to have more energy, like, more determination to be, like, involved in the game. I think not holding corners was very detrimental, and not you just waiting on point for things to come and happen to you, I don't think is a really good idea either. Using other avenues, especially if you're up against, like, a Symmetra who's, like, setting up sentries all over the area, you're gonna have to go a different direction. It doesn't make sense to keep going the same way. Is there anything I can show you? Okay. I did notice that you were kind of having some struggles with your melee as well, with your Ryan. So let's talk. I don't have the hitbox or anything. I got the cool workshop codes, but let me you want to work on aiming your left click better. Now, there's two things to this. A, you don't actually have to be aiming at the person. It doesn't have to be perfect. And B, is that it actually has a lot of travel time, despite what it may look like. And then C, it actually has a wider rectangle box than how you would normally aim your weapons. So like, basically what I mean by that is you see how like I can stand here, look between both of them, and I'm hitting both of them at the same time? It's because as your hammer travels, yeah, it's like its hitbox is like a big rectangle in front of you that goes even past your field of view. So the lesson I'm trying to take away from that is like, say you're walking through a door. So this is like a perfect doorway to example, even though the stairs are inverted, but imagine there's like 3 sentries here, right? Like you walk through and you're like, oh, the enemies are there, and you're like, oh, but I can see on my right, since I'm right clicked, I can't show you with like my mouse, but imagine if the sentries are on the wall above me. They would be hitting me, but I'd see the lines tracing to where that damage is coming from. They can't hit me in the front, and I can see where the sentries are, and so can my teammates. But you can just simply go like that, boom, and like you can knock down those sentries that are at the corner, like if they're really close. Good symmeters will put them higher up, like they'll put them like, or like they'll put them here, where it's like, okay, now I gotta like really, like it's like it can hit me, but I have to like reach to jump for it. Then it's not as optimal. But you have to clean those spaces up. No, I wanted to talk about Shatter too. But I'd say if you can get comfortable, you can basically, you can cheat with your hammer a lot, and like you can hit multiple targets. So like, say like this rod here, I'm gonna swing from like here, and I'm gonna be able to like hit multiple of these, right? Are these not breakable? Oops. Okay, never mind. Haha. Well, there's breakable. I guess there isn't any breakable ones on this map, but let's say like from here. See how I can like hit him from so far away, even though I'm not even like standing that close? So almost 10 meters I can hit this dude from, even if I'm not looking at him. So just like kind of put your screen towards where the sentries are, and then just kind of like aim in their direction to help break up, you know, like those things. But
Much better.
so let's talk Shatter, right? So boom, boom. This is what, 20 meters here? Well, he died right when he shattered. That's fine. But I would build another one. But basically, you see how fast that shatter was? Even though it wasn't fast enough to kill that one dude. Yeah, hang on, I'm just building another one real fast. I don't have like increase all charge up, but that's okay. No, he's too fast. Alright, so the jump shatter. This is why it's so bad, right? It's like,
Try again.
what? We go jump. See how it takes like so much longer for it to start traveling? He like completes the whole voice line, and then it connects. Like, so it's not good. Yeah, you want to make sure you don't get in the habit of jumping too much, and then don't be so afraid to get up in your enemies' faces, especially if they're like down a person. If you're down a person, yeah, you're gonna have to commit and try to do more damage. It's just how it is. Alright, well, I think that's pretty much most of what I can show you here. But, I'd say that you need to have a little more confidence. The team looks to you as the tank, especially, to like hold space. So if you're just sitting on the control point and you're just like watching enemies exist, you could be doing more. You should be thinking, it's like, how can I get more damage in with my big hammer? And you gotta remember, especially characters like Reinhardt are meant to be feared. They're meant to be scary. So like, you're gonna get a lot of attention from the enemy, right? So like, if you're walking at the enemy like this, they're already scared of you, but as you like move into their space and you're not like actually doing damage to them, they become less scared of you. And you want to maintain that fear that they're going to get pinned into a wall, the fear that they're going to get shattered, or they're going to get clobbered to death by your hammer, right? And then just one more for like a normal shatter here, just for the comparison. See how far it goes? 20 meters. Or that's 40 meters it says, so yeah. Keep that in mind. You can go ahead and use your shadow for distance. I believe you would have hit those guys at the top of the moon. But okay, well, I think that's enough. If you have any questions, let me know.